What's going on, everybody? It's Joel here, and today we're taking a look at the FringeSport Liftopus weightlifting shoe. So this shoe had been in development for a pretty good amount of time. I was originally tracking the progress. There's actually a Facebook group that I was a part of where people could go and give their comments and opinions towards the development of the Liftopus weightlifting shoe. I honestly tried to stay as far away from that group as possible because I just didn't want to feel like I was stepping on anybody's toes or like I was gonna try to give too much feedback. But the final product is a lot different than what I was expecting and what I remember seeing from like the concept renders of the Liftopus weightlifting shoe. Which is kind of sad because I actually kind of liked some of those concept designs. Not saying the actual final product is bad or anything. It's just there's nothing that really stands out about the shoe's design. So first off, the upper is a synthetic leather upper. It's a polyurethane material. It kind of feels like the texture of the Adidas Adipower 1. It kind of has this rough, soft touch texture to it. It's a lot more flexible than the Adidas though. It's much more supple from the start. There's really no break-in time for this shoe. The polyurethane upper pretty much extends all the way around the shoe. There's a little bit of mesh around the ankle collar, which is padded and fairly comfortable. It's turned in slightly and does cup your Achilles just a bit. The strap is made out of that polyurethane leather as well and is a little bit on the flimsy side. I don't know how long that's gonna stay on there. It's sewed on to one side and then the other side is actually attached to the upper of the shoe. If I were to have designed this, I would have made the actual strap extend off of the upper itself instead of being a sewed on piece. The design of the shoe is generally unoffensive. There's really not a whole lot going on in the upper of the shoe. There's a few lines of stitching, kind of like a fake toe cap that is just stitching. And then you do have the FringeSport logo that's embroidered on the strap. It does come with two sets of laces. There's a black and green set, and then there's an all green set. The outsole has a pattern to it. It's just like a speckled design. It's just green and black. That's really the only accents that you get to the shoe. And that's a full rubber outsole, and there's a little bit of a cutout in the middle part of it, probably to save on weight. And the heel is made out of a TPU material, and it kind of has a design that resembles the Pendlay Do-Win weightlifting shoes. The weight of these shoes is 17.64 ounces for a men's size 10. That's what I weighed it at, which is not on the brick heavy side, but it's also not on the light side. It's kind of like right in the middle where a lot of weightlifting shoes tend to fall. So yesterday I made a full-on review of the Liftopus weightlifting shoe under the impression that they had only a half-inch heel height, but that was a mistake. That was on FringeSport's website. They actually do have a 3/4 inch effective heel height, so I'm gonna adjust my written review to reflect that. Later on in this review, I say that the value is kind of whatever, but now that I know that they have a 3/4 inch heel height, I think the value is a little bit better and they fall a little bit more in line with some of the other options that are $130. But pretty much everything else that I say in this review is still accurate. I still think that they are a neutral weightlifting shoe. I do lift well in them. I don't think that they're the most stable option, but I do like the flexibility of them. When going to size your Liftopus weightlifting shoes, I'm going to say go with your normal training shoe size. So typically I will go with a half size down for my normal training shoes when I get weightlifting shoes. But for the Liftopus, I got a size 10 and they fit me right on the money. The actual shoe itself is on the wider side. There's really not a whole lot going on inside of the shoe. It's a very neutral feeling shoe. It doesn't kind of push your foot in any way. There's not really any kind of arch or anything. And I feel that the general fit of this shoe is going to accommodate a lot of feet very well. So for sizing reference, I got this in a size 10. My legacy lifters are 9.5. My Romaleo 3 XDs are a size 10. My normal Romaleo 3s are a 9.5. My Romaleo 2s are also a 9.5. My Addy Power 1s are 9.5, and then my Addy Power 2s are a size 10. I think flexibility is one of the strongest suits of the Liftopus weightlifting shoes. There's a good amount of toe flex, so things like split jerks are very comfortable to do in these shoes. Though I did notice a weird thing with the heel of the shoe. I felt that I could flex it under enough pressure if I kind of stomped down at weird angles. Like if I kind of just pressed the heel down in the shoe, I could feel the plastic bending just slightly under my feet, which was a little bit on the weird side. I don't think it's gonna really be too detrimental towards your lifts, because if you're landing on like the sides of the shoe, you're probably gonna miss that lift anyways. But overall, if you wanted to use this shoe for like a CrossFit WOD that had something like double unders, box jumps, I think that these would be a good option. I wouldn't do any kind of running in these, but I think bounding movements, maybe even burpees would be all right to do in the Liftopus weightlifting shoes. For stability, I thought that these were also pretty good shoes. They are not something that I would choose over my Romaleos or my Addy Powers or my Legacy lifters, but I thought the stability was adequate. I didn't have any issues lifting in these shoes. I personally like a flatter, more neutral shoe when I do my lifts. So lifting in the FringeSport Liftopus was actually pretty good. The grip on these shoes is excellent. It has a honeycomb design, very, very similar to the Romaleos. And I don't know if that's like an engineering thing, but I thought the grip on these shoes was excellent. The FringeSport Liftopus cost $130, and despite being kind of an entry-level weightlifting shoe, the build quality is pretty good and the performance is pretty good as well. Like I said, I wouldn't choose these over some of my top flight weightlifting shoes, but I think the people that enjoy the brand FringeSport are gonna really like these shoes. I do honestly think that they could cost a little bit less than $130. If they were $100, it would be like a no-brainer, easy recommendation. If they were even $120, it'd be a little bit easier to recommend these. But at $130, I still think some of the other weightlifting shoes on the market, like the Power Perfect 3s or Legacy Lifters Romaleo 3s on sale, we're definitely going to be a better pickup than the FringeSport Liftopus. I don't think it's a bad shoe. I actually enjoyed lifting in this shoe, but I just think it's a really weird shoe and it's in a weird price point. The design is a little bit on the bland side, but if you like the marketing and you like the name and you like FringeSport, then I do think that the Liftopus is a good shoe. If you guys have any questions about the Liftopus weightlifting shoe, feel free to leave them in the comments section. And as always guys, please hit that like button, subscribe, and thanks for watching.